What's good? What's good? It's your boy Justin. And you know what we finna do, man? We finna go to a better place. So come follow me. Come get this knowledge real quick. So check this out. I'm going to teach you about fear in a little bit and why fear controls our actions and motives based off how our brains were developed. And then I'm going to tell you how today's society strengthens those destructive fear-based motives. And then I'm gonna hit you with a pièce de la resistance, and I'm gonna tell you how to fucking change your physiology away from fear, so you can live a better life. And I'm gonna tell you why and how that shit works. So to first understand the why we trip out about stuff and get really scared, you understand that our brains are the product of 6 million years of human development. Okay, the first 3 million, you know what I'm saying, we lived in a hunter-gatherer setting, and you got to realize that the earliest humans were less than 5 feet tall, really small motherfuckers. And 6 million years ago, everything was really, really big. You know what I mean? Like there were no elephants, there were mammoths. You know what I'm saying? Like saber-toothed tigers were the size of small cars, and we didn't have no claws, no fangs. So we was always on high alert because anything that was scary would result in our death. So we had to, be really cautious about that. So our brains are hardwired for stress, hardwired to stay away from the things that we view as bad or stressful. Now, in today's society, we're stuck in this fast-paced, instant gratification, gimme, right now, right now. So we only look at the immediate feeling we're going to get from whatever action we're about to take, and that thing is usually scary, and we think, oh, this scary thing is going to initially suck, so we don't do it. We always stray away from it. Our brains, our physiologies trick us to be like, no, that's bad, don't do that, stay away from that, like almost like survival instincts. So we can change that, you understand, because it's quite often that the things we need to do that are good for us are scary. And the initial thing we have to do, sometimes it hurts, but it's good for us in the long run. For instance, like cutting off toxic people that are bad for you emotionally and mentally. Sometimes it's scary to, make a large investment in yourself, you know, especially financially. Let's say you've saved up a lot of money and your goal is to invest that in something. You understand, when you have a lot of money saved aside, you have a certain sense of security. You feel good, like no matter what happens, you're good. And taking that money and putting it into something you might not see return until like later, like investments in portfolios and businesses, that's a scary thing. A lot of us won't take the leap into doing that. Another thing is, we have this drive or this passion, and we won't, commit to opening our business because we get comfortable. So how do we change that? What can we do to change that physiology and that fear base? So this is what I do. When I know that what I want to do is scary but good for me, I pick a date, a realistic amount of numbers, at least 3 days. But don't give yourself any more than 14 days. Anything longer than 2 weeks and you're just tricking yourself into fucking not doing it. So let's say 10 days, okay? Let's say I'm going to cut off this toxic relationship with someone very close to me in 10 days. Now, going to that person because you initially care about them and saying, oh, we can't talk anymore, we can't spend enough time with each other because you're not good for me, that's a scary thing because you don't want to disappoint them, you don't want them to view you differently, and those are also hardwired into our physiology. So what you do, you take your journal and you write down, in 10 days, I will tell so-and-so that we can no longer talk. And then go into, and this is what it will do for my life, and you start to list down those things. This will be good for me because this, and this. I will live a better life. I will learn to be happy. I will learn to love myself. And then the next day, the following day, you write down, in 9 days, I will tell so-and-so we can no longer talk, and this is what it will do for my life. And as you start focusing on the positive attributes of doing this scary thing, you'll start to see, your brain will start to see other things that is good for you. Now I'll learn to have a great deal of self-love, self-care. I will be practicing boundaries, and you'll see that particular part where the good part is starting to grow, and that list is getting longer and longer and longer, and we're no longer frustrated or fearing the time that is coming, because we're telling ourselves, we're living that small moment of fear every day by saying, in 8 days I'm doing this, in 7 days I'm doing this, in 6 days I'm doing this. But when we start to focus on the good part that's growing, our focus grows on the good part, and our brains, excuse me, will start to view this action not as fearful and bad, because we're not focusing on the initial bad part. Our focusing is growing stronger and stronger on the good attributes that is coming. So on the day that it happens, we write again in our journal, today I will do this, and this is what it'll do for me. So when you get to the situation where you have to, let go of that person, make that investment, or whatever it may be, start that business, your brain is no longer afraid, and it connects that action not to fear and to stay away from it for survival, but to jump into it because it relates it to something good. Okay, I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you learned something. Obviously, a lot of my methods in changing your physiology for fear is going to require you to journal. Journal is a key to living a better life. In fact, if you look at any extremely successful entrepreneur or successful business person, or a successful person in general, I promise you that person journals. Whether that journal is for intentional, reflective, or just writing down good ideas. And there's something therapeutic and concrete about putting pen to pad and writing words out. So, I encourage you guys to get a journal and start using this method to, start changing the physiology of your mind to do things that are fearful but good for you. That's all I want to say, man. As always, it's your boy Justin. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to a better place, and live well, love strong, and laugh as often as you can.